Okay, welcome to another edition of Lion News. Lion News can be found at lionnews00.blogspot.com. Today is January 12th, 2012, and we're going to call this Representative Bruce Vogel, who happens to be on the Judiciary Policy and Finance Committee, and we're going to inform him about the criminal acts of Judge John Stafsholt. So here we go.
Good morning, Representative Vogel's office. This is Kelly.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, that's good. Say, I understand that your representative, Mr. Vogel, is on the Judiciary Policy and Finance Committee. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, good. Because I've got some disturbing information for you and him about Judge John Stafsholt. There's a big scandal going on in Pope County, well, actually throughout the 8th Judicial District. See,
Okay. Can you spell the last name? I didn't hear it. Judge John, what was it?
Stafsholt, Stafsholt.
Okay.
Yeah, 8th Judicial District. He's out of Pope County.
Okay.
And what the problem is back in July 20th, 2007, members of the Pope County Sheriff's Department illegally entered my home without a warrant. And I'll give you the case number for that. It's 61CR07599. And what happened is, like I was saying, and in fact I'll read to you from the probable cause statement. Pope County deputies James Ross and Forrest Hendrickson accompanied Agent Temford to that location, whereupon they were greeted by Nemmers at the front door. Deputy Ross advised Nemmers of the arrest warrant and instructed him to step outside the door. Well, unfortunately, there was no warrant. There's never been a warrant, but that's what it says in the probable cause statement created by Tim Riley, who was the chief deputy at the time, but now is the sheriff. All right? So that Tim Riley signed this perjured document with a fraudulent document with perjured testimony in it on July 24th, 2007, and with full knowledge that there was no warrant, the Pope County assistant Pope County attorney Chad Larson signed the document with full knowledge there was no warrant. All right, and then that was sent to Judge John Stafsholt, and he also signed it with full knowledge that there was no warrant on July 20th, 2007. All right? So what happened was of course, this is all covered up, perjured testimony at the trial and things like that. But now I'm trying to report this to the judicial system, and there's nothing but a big cover-up because the judge is involved with this fraudulent document, perjured testimony. He knows that he signed it, and there was no warrant. So I had an individual named Christopher King. He's a former assistant attorney general, and he called down to the Pope County court administrator's office and asked for a copy of the warrant that was in this probable cause statement on July 20th, 2007, and the information given to him on two different occasions was from a Deputy Jenny and a Deputy Kelly that there was no warrant for this case number 61CR07599. All right?
Okay.
So what I did was I called down and confirmed the fact again with Kelly. So she told me also, on the phone. Plus, I'm the target of this, so I know whether there's a warrant or not. I should have a copy of it. There is no warrant. All right? So what then I did was I started I found out from the court administrator, after trying to pull some teeth with her, who she reports criminal activity, of the judge to. And finally, after, some wrangling, I got her to say Timothy Osby, who is the Judicial District Administrator for the 8th and 7th Judicial District. And what happened was he spoke to me, let's see, it was on the 3rd of this year, and and then he said he would call me back. He really sounded concerned when I first talked to him on the 3rd, and then I didn't get his message. He left a message on my machine later that day, and I called him back the next day. And it was really disturbing how he had changed his tune on what should be done. Because I had talked to Teresa Fredrickson, she's the court administrator, after talking to him, and she said that he doesn't do anything unless he has the approval of the district judge, Stephen E. Drange. So obviously, they had a conference, and he tried to give me these ridiculous options like contact the Attorney General's office, the Lawyer's Professional Responsibility Board. And I said, excuse me, sir, but these are felonies, perjury, accessory to perjury and different things like that, submitting fraudulent documents into the court record. I said, are you going to contact the FBI, the BCA, the Attorney General's office? And it was pretty disturbing to me because he said he had no intention of contacting law enforcement. You see what I'm getting at? These are crimes committed, felonies, and
yes, and I understand that. What I would say is that, from our, what Representative Vogel's scope of authority is, I'm going to give you a couple resources, and I don't want you to, get the intention. Let me give you those resources first, and then let me explain a little bit more of what he would be able to maybe help you with.
Well, actually, could I just finish my story, and then you could do that?
Sure.
Because it gets worse after this, because then what I did was I decided I should contact the Supreme Court. Because I figured if there's this cover-up, then, higher up should know. So I contacted I contacted an associate justice first, and then they referred me to the Chief Justice, Lori...
Gilday.
Okay, good. I'm glad you know her name. Anyhow, I talked to her secretary and explained the exact same thing to her, and she sounded really concerned too. So she suggested that I talk to this Rita Coyle DeMules, who is going to be I think today is her appointment to become the Supreme Court Commissioner. All right?
Okay.
So, and then she was also a former Assistant Attorney General also, and I explained all this to her just like I explained it to you. Mm-hmm. And again, it was, you can contact the Attorney General's office, and you can contact the FBI. I said, well, geez, it's your court, your judge, your files, your perjured testimony, which is sitting in your courts. So, and of course, it's just the standard operating procedure is, she doesn't want to do anything. And I said, I got Mr. Osby to say that he refuses to contact law enforcement, but she wouldn't, obviously, because she's probably, again, trained in the law, so she's smart enough to, not to make that kind of a confession. But what my point is, it's pretty disturbing that there's two different sets of laws here. One set for the people who are sitting on the bench, and another set of laws for the people who get to sit in front of them. Because I've been targeted by the county attorney's office and the sheriff's department, for false arrest and malicious prosecution because I refused to stop talking about these criminal acts that occurred against me. Mm-hmm. So, like they said, the standard operating procedure for the sheriff's department is perjury. Well, of course, again, with a malicious prosecution, again, perjury and perjury and perjury. And I've filed criminal charges and with the police, and of course, it goes straight to the county attorney's office, and he covers it up.
Right.
See?
Because unfortunately, we can't.
Well, I'm almost done.
Charges, even if you have criminal charges filed against just anyone, not even in this situation, the district attorney and the county attorney can choose not to prosecute.
Well, the thing is, it's against the law for them not to investigate and prosecute a legitimate claim. See, and the thing is, I have filed complaints before in different counties, and I've received a letter back stating that they will not pick up the charges. See, the thing is, these just disappear into nothingness. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm getting at? See, so...
And I understand exactly what you're saying.
Right.
What I would say is that, kind of your best recourses for action are filing a complaint with the Lawyers Board of Professional Responsibility, filing a complaint with the Board of Judicial Standards. They're the governing agency over judges and lawyers, and they're the ones that actually can kind of enforce a lot of that. Otherwise, unfortunately, it is the Attorney General is really the only one with the scope of power to be able to come in as a special prosecutor.
Well, see, the problem is it's Paul, right? That's the executive secretary for the Judicial Review Board.
I don't know his. I'll be honest. I apologize. I don't know who the official contact is. I can give you the.
Well, see, I have contacted these people with the same information. I've sent them information. In fact, I've talked to them.
Just the legal field, just generally, is a self-regulating.
Well, I understand that because there's two different sets of laws. Again, so.
Well, it's a self-regulating profession, so really you have to go through those regulating bodies in order to kind of do what you're looking to do. As far as criminal charges, you'd have to speak, and you've done this. I mean, it sounds like it's been kind of a vicious cycle for you. And the prosecutors have chosen not to, continue to
follow the law.
Those charges, and then it would have to be the Attorney General would have to step in. They're the only body with that kind of authority. Representative Vogel wouldn't have that authority at all.
Well, I understand that, but see, the thing is, he can make phone calls and say, why aren't you investigating your own people?
In that case, I would recommend contacting, because if I heard you right, you do not live in Representative Vogel's district, correct?
I live in Pope County, but he is on the, as far as I know, he's on
I can give you the information for the chair of the committee and for your state representative, but that would probably be the best people to look into it for you.
Well, I guess if he's on the Judiciary Policy and Finance Committee, I think he should be aware of any scandals that are going on and the criminal acts of the judges.
We're more than happy to definitely look into that. I will be more than happy to make sure he gets, the information. It's just, from a logistical standpoint, it's always best to contact your individual representative.
I understand that. I understand that. But see, the problem is, my representative came from my county who's, involved in all this little hoo-ha to start with. So, chances are he's not going to do much for me either. So that's why I have every intention of giving him a call. I have no problem with that. But again, this is Mr. Vogel is on the Judiciary Committee, so that's why I want to inform him of what's going on.
Absolutely, and we definitely appreciate you calling, and I'm happy to take your comments. I'm just trying to be proactive and give you the information of the people who might be able to help you.
Well, like I said, I know what the procedure is. I mean, that's why I called all these different steps. I mean, I've dealt with the lawyer's professional responsibility before. I know that they're not a criminal, entity. They can't investigate criminal acts. Neither can the Judicial Review Board. That's something that, I'm trying to get them to do. I mean, like I said, I got the Timothy Osby to admit that he refuses to call the police. I said, even though maybe a judge is raping your staff, you aren't going to call the police on that one. I said, I know if you would be, if I did something to any one of these people, I know you'd call the police on me. See, so again, it's just the two different sets of laws,
Absolutely, and I appreciate you. I'm not trying to get you off the phone or anything. I just
that's fine.
To make sure, it's part of my job is to make sure you have the resources of.
Well, I understand that. Yeah. I understand that. So I appreciate your time and your information. So, and then I'll let you back to have your day then.
Sounds good. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.